Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Mel Galbraith. I'm the owner and a psychotherapist and trainer with Healing with Mel Galbraith. And I want to take you all on a journey to radical self love. And even just saying that, if you pause and think, what does that mean to you? What does radical self love mean? Some of you might be thinking going for walks, going to get my nails done, self care, yoga, sitting with my parts, being self led, being in self leadership, feeding my body foods that work well with my particular digestive system, um, having warm tea, communicating with friends, and maybe lots of other things. And all of these things, yes, these are really beautiful ways that we love ourselves and show up for ourselves. And I want to take you deeper. I want to talk with you about outrageous self love, outrageous acts of love, outrageous love letters. I want to talk about what Mark Gaffney calls the unique self, which is a layer deeper than what IFS calls self energy, but also starts with a foundation of self energy. I want to take you on a journey of outrageous, radical self love. Okay, no, you've said outrageous a lot. How are we going to do that? We're going to turn inward and go towards our shame. And so this isn't about a training on how to work with shame or how to show up better for my clients around shame. This is around turning inward and looking at our own shame. And this isn't about fixing. So I want to say that again. This isn't about fixing something that's wrong with you. It's about uncovering something that's already inside of you. So this place of radical, outrageous love that already lives in you, this idea of unique self that already lives in you. And we're not fixing ourselves to get there. We're uncovering what's already there. So this isn't about fixing a problem. And I'll tell you a little bit about the journey. So as I was creating this journey that I really want to share with folks, and the reason I keep calling it a journey is because when I was creating it, I kept doing like module 1, module 2, but the word module, like it just wasn't landing in my system. And I kept feeling into like why doesn't that word land? And then it was really clear because this isn't a training. This isn't a like, oh, let's come and work through different modules and give you information. This is really a sacred journey that I want to take you all on about pausing and being in the sacred pause and noticing how shame shows up in our lives. Like shame, sorry, shame runs a lot of our lives. It is a core wound in all of us. It is unconsciously operating in the background in many ways. And we also have a lot of unconscious ways that we respond to shame day to day. When my kiddo does something and I'm worried another parent's going to judge me, so I react in some way, right? That's a reaction based on shame. When I'm walking by someone and I'm comparing my body to their body, that's a reaction based on shame. There might be something wrong with me. This person might inherently be better than me. And so this is what we're going to journey inward towards, to get curious about how the shame shows up and how shame blocks us from our uniqueness that the world really desperately longs to see. And all of us have our own unique sense of self and our unique gifts that we can offer the world. And then shame also blocks our voice and our expression and our ability to show up 100% with our clients. I have never met a therapist that didn't say, I have imposter syndrome. I think I'm not good enough in some capacity or another. And again, that's a shame response. And so there's so many different areas and like threads in our lives that shame is running like a TV in the background that never shuts off. And so I'm welcoming you into the sacred pause to turn inward, to get curious about the shame so that we can, what's underneath, we can uncover outrageous, radical self love. And when we can outrageously love ourselves, we can spread that. We can outrageously love everyone around us. We'll show up with our clients different. We'll show up with our kids different. We'll show up with, our partners or our communities or whoever it is, the world, animals, the nature that you can see behind me. We will show up differently. And so this is a gift, an act of self love that I could really feel as I was creating this journey and feeling into, the strength and the power and just like the what is possible if we live in that sacred pause, or we can have moments of that sacred pause and go inside what's possible for all of us. And so this really does feel like an act of love. And I would really love to share this act of love with all of you. So it's an 8-week journey. We will meet for 3 hours a week for 8 weeks, 8 consecutive weeks. And this is the outline-ish, briefly what we're going to go through together on this journey. So we're going to start by really opening up the sacred field together, establishing safety, establishing shared language, and really get a sense of the future orientation and how this journey is going to unfold for all of us that show up. We're going to talk about how, I mean this already, how shame impacts our lives on the day-to-day and how we unconsciously relate to shame. And by the way, after every module, you're going to get like tools and different practices that you can incorporate into your daily life. Like, not like you have to sit down and meditate for an hour. That is not what I'm going to tell you to do, but little like simple tools and practices to help you really to help the journey stay alive with you over the course of the 8 weeks. So it's not just like, oh, I'm doing this beautiful thing for 3 hours a week. It's like, no, no, no. You can really keep this alive between weeks, but then also after the 8 weeks is over. And so this isn't just to like come and show up for 8 weeks and then, kind of see you later and, hope this was a good time. I really want this to be something that we can all practice together and that we can all um, really start like incorporating in our lives and be outrageous lovers in the world for ourselves and for others. Derek used to say in IFS that we're creating compassion warriors that are running around this planet spreading compassion everywhere. And so I'm going to take compassion warriors and say compassionate, outrageous lovers that are running around the world spreading love. And we know it starts with us. So how shame shows up, how we unconsciously respond to it, and how we learned to unconsciously respond to it. Because we weren't born with like, I'm just going to shame myself until I show up differently. These are learned behaviors that we picked up somewhere in our lives. So we're going to really talk about like, where did this come from and how did I learn this? And then we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to go back to the very beginning, to that core wound of shame in all of us. And that space is going to be different for all of us. And so I'm going to guide you back to this core, or maybe one of, I'm sure we all have more than one core wound of shame as we grow up on this planet that we call Earth. But we're going to go back to a core wound of shame, and we're going to really slow it down. And we're going to have a chance to do what IFS calls a collective unburdening. And really, but I'm not going to call it a collective unburdening. I'm going to name that because it's really common language for a lot of folks that are going to be watching this. But we're going to do shared witnessing and release of inherited burdens. Right? These burdens of shame aren't ours. They don't belong to us. Shame isn't like natural to our systems. And so we're going to do a shared witnessing and release process together as a group of the inherited burdens. And I really like this language. Never heard this language before. But I came across it a couple days ago, and I really like this language a lot. So I think I'm going to continue to use this language. And then after that, we're going to do what a lot of IFS folks, or I don't notice a lot of IFS folks doing, but we're going to do an internal repair in the inner system. It's not like a self to part repair, right? We all, or those in the IFS field who are watching this, we know how to do repair between self and parts, but we're going to do a part to part repair. And what I mean by that is we have protectors or protection or vigilance around these core shame wounds, right? These are too painful to feel, so we have protection around them. The protection shows up for very good reasons. We need the protection to function in the world. And this part holding all the shame is a warrior because it's holding all of the shame so we don't have to feel it all the time. But this dance, right, is a rupture between parts. It's, hey, every time we feel the shame, hey, I have something I want to share with you. I'm holding something painful. Please listen. But it's so much that our protectors have to shut it down in various ways. Right? Distraction, addiction, shaming is a way to regulate internal shame. If I shame myself enough, maybe I won't feel ashamed. I won't do something that will make me feel ashamed. I dissociate, I hide, whatever that is. Right? But it's a rupture in this inner attachment system between parts. And so we're going to walk through you and your own system, but together as a group, how to do a repair, right, between the protective system and these young parts that are holding core wounds of shame. Maybe the shamed system that might need a repair, maybe the dissociator and the shamed part need a repair. However that's showing up in you, we're going to really deepen the part to part connection on the inside obviously a beautiful self-led container, but we're going to really work with the attachment of the parts in this particular journey that we're in, and talking about how shame gets reinforced, but also how it heals. And I really believe that part of the healing of shame isn't just, oh, I have a self-to-part connection with this exile, I have a self-to-part connection with this protector, and the exile unburdened, and maybe the protector unburdened, poof, cool. But what if we go a layer deeper? What if we invite the parts to actually repair and heal the attachment dance that they've been doing for so long? Something really powerful happens when you take it to that next level. And then we're going to weave in something new. So we're going to weave in something that Mark Gaffney calls memories of the future, which are like memories that already live in us, right? So if we go back to what I said at the beginning around we're not here to fix, we're here to uncover what's underneath, right? And shame can block some of that uniqueness underneath, right? Memories of the future, right? Which is like, what is our unique path in this lifetime, right? What is our unique journey? What is our unique role or unique gifts that we can offer humanity in this lifetime that are covered up, that we maybe get intuitive senses of every once in a while? And so we're going to talk about this. Memories of the future that already live in us. What does that mean? You'll get more of this if you join me on this journey. And going back to this piece of unique self. And this is a term also that Mark Gaffney uses. That again is like deeper than this layer of self energy. Like self energy talks about when I'm in self energy and you're in self energy, it's the same energy, right? You're embodying the same energetic field. I'm embodying the same energetic field. But what if we all took that energy field and we added our humanity to it, right? And my unique self was different than your unique self. And my unique self shows up in this world in a way that's different than your unique self, right? So we're taking the energy of the aspect of self energy and we're building on it. And so we're really going to deepen our understanding of what is this thing that Mark talks about that is unique self. And of course, we can't talk about shame without talking about shame as a legacy burden. And so we're going to talk about shame as a legacy burden, and we're going to do a collective witnessing and release of inherited legacy burdens. So in IFS terms, we're going to walk through a collective legacy unburdening. And then we're going to end, kind of, in our second last journey together. We're going to integrate all of this together. And this journey is called embodiment, unique gifts, and expression. And, you know, I touched on this earlier, how shame blocks uniqueness, or maybe I touched on it more than once. Our uniqueness, it blocks our voice, it blocks our needs, it blocks our gifts, it blocks us being in, you know, the bigness that we all can be in. And not like a bigness in like an arrogant way, but like an energetic bigness that we can all be in. And we're going to talk about some new concepts in this journey. We're going to talk about unique risk. What is your unique risk? What is my unique risk? How do we how do we engage in outrageous acts of love every single day? How do we write outrageous love letters to ourselves? We're going to talk about parts alignment around expression and how that links into the unique self. So again, self energy, you know, you have self and you have parts. Unique self is a little bit of a merging of these. And so we're going to talk about parts alignment around expression. And then our final journey together is going to be a live demo facilitated by me and one of the participants that we're really just going to like, how might this work in a session, right? So a lot of you showing up might be IFS therapists or healers, or healers in different capacities, coaches, practitioners. You might have clients in different capacities. So we're going to do a demo. So that's going to be our last journey together. So we're going to have a lot of time to work through a demo to really express outrageous love to the demo participant, and then really dive into Q&A around the course, the demo, sharing. And again, like integrated in every journey will be, of course, there will be teachings around shame. So it's not just going to be like working on yourself every time you journey. There will be small teachings around shame, but it will not take up the entire 3 hours because this, again, is not a training with modules. But there's going to be a lot of time for like journaling, doing stuff on your own, doing stuff in small groups, doing stuff in the large group. And so it's going to be a really intimate journey that we share, an intimate space that we share together, and something really special. And there will be time for Q&A and all of these different things throughout the entire 8 weeks that we're together. And again, after each journey, there will be ways that you can keep this alive in you throughout the week and after the 8 weeks. So this is really something that I want to just like give you all, like a tenderness that we can offer ourselves, and a tenderness that we can offer, you know, those around us, those that we work with, the world, humanity, right? In a time where humanity needs so much love, this is really what I want to offer, like sparking outrageous love, or compassionate, outrageous warriors or lovers in the world. And I'm like channeling a bit of Derek energy here as I say that, and feeling him like smiling down on me. And for those of you who don't know Derek Scott was a pioneer in the IFS world, and he was the one that brought IFS to Canada. So if you're curious about him, look up Derek Scott, IFS. Each session will be recorded. So because I know it's going to run in the summer. So it's going to start, I think, the end of June or the very first week of July, and then run for 8 consecutive weeks. And so I know the summer's like a tricky time for folks because it's the holidays and kids are off school, and a lot of us take time off of work. So all the sessions will be recorded. So if you really want to come and you're like, Mel, I'm going to miss like a session or two, sign up anyway and you can get the recordings. You will have lifetime access to the recordings. And so it's not like in a month I'm going to take them away. So you get lifetime access to all of the recordings, so you can catch up, you can rewatch them in, you know, December. You notice more shame coming up because it's the holidays and you have to spend time with family. You can go through all 8 modules again on more core shame wounds that come up. So this is really a resource that you get to keep forever. And I really want to make this as accessible as possible for everyone. So reach out for more details. This isn't an outrageously priced journey to go through with me. This really feels like something that I want to offer folks. And if you need financial assistance to come, please reach out to my admin staff, admin@hwmg.ca, and let's enter into a conversation about how you can be with us and how you can join us. I'm hoping, if you're like, Mel, I can't do it in the summer, like, this is my time to outrageously love myself and not, engage in work. I really hope that this is a continuous thing that I run. And so I'm really hoping that, this is not the last time that I get to share this with the community, with the world. So stay tuned. Email admin again if you want to be put on my mailing list for the next time this is offered. This will also be offered, this exact same course will be offered in Belgium in November in person. And so if that's something that interests folks, that they're interested in coming to Belgium and doing this in person in a group retreat format, and as much as there's so many beautiful ways that we can connect and feel each other's love and self-energy online, there's also magical things about meeting in person. And so if in person resonates more with you, again, please reach out to admin to get more details about the Belgium retreat, the radical, outrageous, radical love Belgium retreat, turning towards shame, that is happening in November. Okay, that's all for now. Much love, everyone. And then we're going